According to J.K. Simmons, the actor who plays Commissioner Gordon in Justice League, Warner Brothers is working on a script for Justice League 2, which means that the studio must be optimistic that this Justice League that's coming out November 17th is going to do well enough to warrant them making a part 2. They aren't certain, there's no guarantee, but they are doing it, they're going in with, putting a good foot forward and being optimistic. That means I think they have a good feeling about this one. And I'll talk more about why later. But let's just get to his quote first. He was, I guess, he was doing an interview with this magazine called Total Film. This is what he said. Actually, they were asking him a question about him being ripped or buff. There's probably been seen clips or pictures of J.K. Simmons on the internet of him looking really jacked doing exercises. And this question was about that, but then he answered it and led into Justice League 2. But let me get to the quote. Well, Commissioner Gordon wears a trench coat in every scene, so I don't know that the pumped up part is going to be all that evident, especially when you're standing next to Batman. But this is the first Justice League movie, we hope, of a few. They're working on scripts for the Batman and for the next Justice League movie. It introduces my incarnation of Commissioner Gordon. I don't have a lot to do. I feel like I just dipped my toe in the water of who Commissioner Gordon will be. So they're planning for a sequel, even though they don't know that they'll have one yet. But I don't think they'd be planning for one if they didn't have a good feeling that Justice League is going to do well financially. Now, you do have to, take a little bit of, I guess, a grain of salt with this, because studios will announce that the sequel's in development for a film all the time, even before they know they're actually going to make a sequel. They did this with the Green Lantern movie with Ryan Reynolds, the first one that came out. I think before Green Lantern was released, there was articles saying Warner Brothers was working on Green Lantern 2 or had, greenlit the script. But then Green Lantern tanked, it failed at the box office and critics and a lot of fans hated it. So we never saw a Green Lantern 2. So the same thing could happen to Justice League. So I'm not saying that it will, I'm just saying it's a possibility. This is a good sign, but it's not necessarily a guarantee. But, this doesn't mean the movie's bad, though. It could mean it's really good. But I just wanted to just be a little bit more realistic about this news. But there was another article that came out, I think this past weekend, that said that Justice League, or late last week, that early box office tracking for Justice League was well. Actually, the article said that early tracking was going well. And I think tracking means box office numbers. I thought it meant that test audiences liked it. It was tracking well with people who were viewing it. But I don't know. I don't think that's what it means. I think it means box office numbers. The guy who broke that news is Humberto Gonzalez with The Wrap. He said a source told him that early tracking was really well, that Warner Brothers was pleased with the tracking numbers they were getting. He doesn't release the details. He just put out a tweet on Twitter saying that. So we'll know more about official tracking numbers when they come out. I think they'll be released next week or wherever. That's what he says in his tweet too. Now, this is similar to Box Office Pro's projections about a couple of weeks ago that said Justice League would have an $150 million opening weekend here in the US, which is a really good opening weekend debut. So this jibes with that. I don't know what these figures are. These figures could actually come in when they're first released, the official tracking numbers, a little lower than 150 because tracking changes over time, but they could start out relatively low and then get stronger as the movie's getting closer to release, because the closer you get to a movie's release, the more people are aware of it, the more it's being marketed and hyped up. So even though Justice League is on a lot of people's radar right now, and a lot of people already have decided I want to see this, there are more people who will kind of be more gung-ho and I want to see it when you get closer to the movie's release. So if their tracking numbers come out and they're a bit lower than what you might expect, I wouldn't worry because they can fluctuate and increase when you get closer to a movie coming out. So that's good news. I mean, this is all pretty good news for Justice League. Of course, none of this is a guarantee that the movie's going to make gangbusters money or be, really, really good in the eyes of critics. But, this is what we have here. And I just want to report on that for this video. I'm pretty excited. I can't wait for Justice League. Seriously. I think it's going to do really well in the box office. I don't know if critics are going to like it. I know I'm going to like it. But I'm excited. I want to know what test audiences are liking it, though. Feel about it. I know that there was an article saying that there were people saying Justice League was epic and things like that, but you never know what those reactions, you never know if those reactions are reliable or not. And they could be easily finessed. We'll know when early reviews start coming out what the critical response is going to be, which will help or hurt the movie. But I'm feeling good. I'm feeling jazzed. I can't wait. It's less than a month until November 17th. Bring it on. I want to see it. But anyways, thank you for watching. Of course, I'm going to be making more videos about Justice League and all that stuff as we get closer to its release throughout the next 2 or 3 weeks, because I love Justice League and I love DC. Thank you for watching. I will talk to you soon. Bye.